kids. Happy Wednesday. We have so many fun things to talk about today. We are on day 2 of our Daisy experiment. I think it's been about 48 hours. So one day is 24 hours. 2 days is 48 hours. So if you see, the leaves are getting a little bit more stained. This process is actually a little bit slower than I might have imagined. You see some of the blue? Ooh, those are good ones down there. You see those bottom leaves? You can see a lot more blue on those. The flowers that are in the blue food coloring have the most noticeable staining on the petals so far. But remember, we've got 4 different colors over there: blue, purple, pink, and yellow, I believe. So we'll give it a little bit more time. I imagine our Zoom call on Thursday, I wonder if you'll be able to see the results of our experiment a little bit better. So I'm going to put those back. And so today is February 3rd, and I just found out that yesterday, February 2nd, is kind of halfway between winter solstice and the first day of spring. So we are halfway through winter. Isn't that neat? I thought that was so cool to hear. And yet, what kind of weather did we have yesterday? We had a lot of rain. What's the weather looking like today? Let's take a look. I have my window right in front of me. Well, I do see some clouds in the sky. I have seen a little bit of rain today, and I know in the forecast it said we might get some snow, but I do not think any snow is going to happen today because remember our temperature? It's going to be about 42 degrees today. So we'll say right around there. There's 40, and it's just above 40. Do you remember what temperature water freezes at? 32 degrees. So that's about 10 degrees difference from 32 to 42. So it doesn't look like we're going to get any snow today. That's okay. We'll enjoy the little bit of rain. We'll enjoy the clouds. Now, I'm not sure if you had a chance to do your water cycle experiment at home, but do you remember what it's called? So there's water on the ground, maybe say from a hose because you were washing your car or watering your garden, or maybe the rain came down, so there's puddles, and then the sun comes out and it causes that water that's on the ground to evaporate, and the water turns into vapor and it goes up into the sky where it condenses into big puffy clouds. And then when those clouds get heavy enough, there's precipitation, and that's a fancy word for rain. Can you say precipitation? That's a really neat word. How many syllables are in precipitation? Can we count them out? Precipitation. Wow, I think that was 5 claps. Amazing. So now you know a fancy word for rain. So I have my Fun Phonics song sheet, and we're going to sing A is for apple, apple. B is for ball, ball. C is for crab, crab. D is for dog, dog. E is for elephant, elephant. F is for flamingo, flamingo. Oh, now we've got G in the right order. G is for grapes, grapes. H is for hat, hat. I is for ice cream, ice cream. And A and E are also vowels, and so is I. So I says I and I. Igloo. That's a good one. Now we're on to letter J. J is for jam, jam. K is for kite, kite. L is for lion, lion. M is for mermaid, mermaid. N is for net, net. Oh, do you remember what O is for? O is for octopus, octopus. What comes next? Letter P. P is for pretzel, pretzel. Q is for queen, queen. R is for robot, robot. Well done. That's where we'll stop for right now, because that is the last letter that we've done. Next week we'll be doing letter S. All right. And before I put this too far away, I wanted to talk to you about our new song, because our new song starts with letter R. R-E-D, red, R-E-D, red. I can spell red, I can spell red. Fire trucks are red, stop signs are red too. R-E-D, R-E-D. Good job. Now, I'm not sure if I can hold both of these up at the same time, but you know how sometimes we do rhyming words? Well, I thought, let's rhyme red. So, I thought this might help, because we always change the first letter in the word so that it rhymes. So it needs to rhyme with red, and we're going to change that R. And maybe we'll try B, bed. Red, bed. They rhyme. What about H? H says ha. Red, head. Oh my goodness. What about F? Fed. Red, bed, head, fed. What about N? N says red, Ned. Red, lead. Ooh, what else do we have in here? S says red, said. Ooh, T says red, Ted. Wow, there are so many words that rhyme with red. That was really fun to get to do with you. So, I have another riddle for you. The riddle is, what has many keys but can't open any doors? Many keys, but it can't open any doors? Okay, think on that one a little bit. What do you imagine it might be? I bet you will probably come up with the answer. You play it with your fingers. It's a musical instrument. Did you say piano? Oh my goodness, you're so smart. Yes. So a piano, all of those little white tiles are called keys, and there's black ones too. And that's what you play to have the piano make noise, is the keys of the piano. But they don't open up any doors, do they? No. So, something else that I wanted to talk about, since we are on R, letter R, is recycling. What is recycling? Is that taking glass and plastic, different things that would normally go in the landfill, and then they remake them into something new so that those things do not have to go to the landfill and we can reuse them for something different, or maybe even for the same thing. Pretty cool. So this is about some boys who are being careful about littering. And it says, all the way to the ocean. It's by Joel Harper and it's illustrated by Mark Spusta. Let's find out what these boys do to do something great for our earth. Just like recycling is a great thing to do. All right. Every day, Isaac and his best friend James ride their skateboards home from school. Should we hang out at your house or mine? Asked Isaac. Well, let's go to my house. My mom went shopping and she bought lots of good food, said James. Do you want a piece of candy? Sure, said James. Hey, what are you doing? Said Isaac. And see, James is dropping his candy wrapper into the storm drain right there. And there's a little stencil sign right there that says, no dumping, this drains to the ocean. Did you just drop your wrapper into the storm drain? Yeah, what's the big deal? Asked James. Oh, it is a big deal because these drains go all the way to the ocean, just like the sign says. What do you think happens when our trash ends up in the ocean? Asked Isaac. I don't know, asked James. The plants and animals get really sick. That's what happens. Look at all that trash that's already in there, cried Isaac. Plastic bags, broken glass, bottle caps, plastic soda can holders, and now your candy wrapper. There's even an old shoe down there. And guess what? As soon as it rains, all that trash goes straight to the ocean. How do you know? Asked James. Because I read about it in National Geographic Kids. Are you sure that stuff goes all the way to the ocean? Asked James. I'm positive, said Isaac. Let's ask my mom when we get home. She's super smart. She's not smarter than National Geographic, said Isaac. Oh, yes, she is, insisted James. Oh, and look, there's James throwing his candy wrapper in the garbage. Good job. All right. Hey, Mom, do the storm drains around town go all the way to the ocean? Asked James. They sure do, she replied. I told you, said Isaac. Why do you ask, honey? Isaac jumped in and said, because James threw trash in the storm drain on the way home from school. He didn't know that they drain all the way to the ocean. Isaac is right about the storm drain, said James's mom. Just think about all the harmful things that could happen when our trash ends up in the ocean. Oh, there's a neat picture. All kinds of marine life are getting sick and their homes are becoming polluted. Sometimes they get stuck in our garbage. Do all storm drains go to the ocean? Asked James. Yes, they do, said his mother. That's why it's important to remember not to throw trash on the ground, because when it rains, harmful pollutants like foam, cups, and fast food wrappers, motor oil, and even pet waste can wash into the storm drains and run down to lakes, rivers, and the ocean. I saw someone reach out of their car and dump out their entire ashtray into the gutter by school one day, said James. I bet a lot of them ended up in the ocean. You're right, Isaac, said James's mother. Fish and birds and many other kinds of fish and birds often mistake garbage for food when they eat them, and then they get sick. Sometimes sea turtles will eat plastic bags thinking that they're jellyfish. Jellyfish make a great lunch for sea turtles, but plastic bags don't. Wow, they're learning a lot. So are we. Mom, can our drinking water get polluted too? Asked James. Yes, it sure can, James. Runoff from storm drains can be harmful for drinking water, and it can affect recreational areas. Ooh, what does that mean? What's recreational areas? Is that a place that you go and you have a good time at? Mm-hmm. Do you have a good time at the beach? I sure do. So that's recreational areas. Sometimes beaches have to be closed because the water is too dirty to swim in. Yeah, I know, said Isaac. My brother was mad last weekend because he couldn't go surfing at his favorite spot. He said the beach was closed because of pollution. Pollution sure causes a lot of problems. Why do people litter so much? Oh, that's a good question, Isaac. Maybe some people aren't aware of the harmful effects pollution has on the environment. Or maybe they think that the ocean is so big that it has room for our trash. Sadly, that's not true. The ocean has more life in it than any other ecosystem on Earth, and we need to take better care of it, said James's mother. Hey, Isaac, you know all those gutters by school? Asked James. Yeah, said Isaac. I always see trash in them. Let's ask our teacher if our class can pick up trash around the school so it doesn't end up in the storm drain, said James. Good idea. Maybe the whole school can pitch in. There's a lot of trash, said Isaac. Wow, what a great idea. James and Isaac's teacher thought a schoolyard cleanup was a great idea. After their classmates learned about storm drain pollution, they wanted to help clean up their environment. Many of the students even picked up garbage around their own neighborhood. What are some of the things you and your friends and family can do in your community to help prevent storm drain pollution? Let's see. And that is the end of the book. But did you like that James learned something and then he decided to be an activist and go do something about it? That was really cool. He's learning to be a steward for his environment. Also very cool. Do you think this is a nice way to show respect for our environment and respect for Earth? I think so too. All right, kiddos. I will see you tomorrow.